Hello everyone, welcome to the OpenCV tutorial in Python. In this video, we will learn how to open, display, resize, and save images. And as always, I created a post that nicely summarizes everything that I will explain in this video. I will go over the codes. However, if you want to read the post, you can find the summary over here. A link to this post is given in description below. Okay, so let us start. Over here you can see an image that I took today with my cell phone. This image represents a few parts that I found in my room, and I was thinking, wow, it can be a good idea to make a picture of these parts for some future OpenCV videos that will be dedicated to contour and object recognition. So for the time being, I will save this image on my disk. So I will click on Save Image As, and over here I will select a folder that I created for this video, and I will save this image as parts test.png. Okay, so this is the first step. And then I can also save this image. This is a reduced size image. Again, right click, save image as, and here I will save it as resize parts.png in the same folder. So you have my permission to use these images in your tutorials and while practicing OpenCV. Okay. Now let us double check this. Okay, perfect. I have parts test PNG and resize parts PNG. Okay, so then I will go to my code. And so let's start with the explanations. So first I will explain how to display images. The code lines 8, 9, and 10 import the necessary libraries. Here I assume that you have already installed OpenCV. We import the OpenCV by typing import cv2, and here I need pyplot for plotting, and I need numpy. Now you can see over here that I'm using the Spider Python development environment. I strongly suggest you to install the Spider environment. Now we're going to read the image by using the function cv2.imageRead, and you just need to specify the image name. Then with the function cv2imageShow, image is the first argument, and this is the name of the window. You can call it, let's say, image window. We can change this part of the code, and image is the name of the file. So let us first execute code line, everything until code line 15, and then we will explain other things. Okay, so let's see what do we have over here. If I type image, nothing happens, which means that my image is not being loaded. We can check that by typing whose, and I see that image is none. This means that I didn't load my image. Okay, so this is a standard error. And why? What's the reason behind this error? Well, the main reason is that the current folder is not the folder in which my images are being saved. So I need to change the folder, or I need to set the path. So the easiest way is to change the folder. So I will find my folder, and here it is. Okay, so let us repeat these steps. And let's see what happens now by typing whose. Okay, now I have my image. So if I type image, I will see that my image is nothing less than a numpy array. So I can check its shape by typing image.shape. So it's a object. Image is the numpy object, and I can see that my image dimensions are 806 by 604. That is 806 by 604, and I have 3 additional dimensions. So this is basically a matrix, or better to say, it's a multidimensional matrix. Now let us interpret these numbers. So what is 806 and 604? 806 and 604 are image dimensions. So once you display it on your screen, the width and height are 806 or 604 or vice versa, it doesn't matter. And number 3 represents the image channels. So let's see what are these image channels. So I can do something like this. So I, for example, at the position 300, better to say 299, since Python measures everything from 0. Let's see what do we have. We have an array, a NumPy array, and the entries are 55, 68, and 83. So what are these numbers? These numbers are color channels. So this represents blue, this represents green, and this represents red. So the color being represented is coded by 55 blue, 68 green, and red is 83. So it's some kind of color, right? Now, you should keep in mind that OpenCV loads images in the BGR format, not the RGB format. That is, the first channel again is blue, second one is green, and the last one is red. Okay, so let us display this image. These 3 code lines are used to display the image. Code line 16, 17, and 18. Let us execute these code lines and let's see what happens. Okay, here is my image. Now, if I press any key, my image will be closed. Let us do it again. Now, if you press, for example, the image is closed. Let us now execute these code lines independently and let's see what will happen. So let us execute the code line 16. Let's see what will happen. We see an image window, however we don't see the image inside. So the next code line, the code line 17, will display our image. So here is our image. Now, this function cv2.waitKey takes one argument, and this argument is the time duration of displaying the image. If we specify 0, this means that the image will be displayed indefinitely, that is, for an infinite period of time, until we press any key. Now, let's see what will happen if I will press any key. Notice here that my Python is still executing this function, and if I press any button, let's say for example space, I will obtain number 32. This number 32 represents the Unicode integer that is equivalent to the space key. However, what do I see over here? I see that this image crashed. So the image window is not responding, and that's why you need to call the code line 18. So by calling the function cv2.destroy all windows, we will actually close this window. So by selecting this and executing, okay, now our image is being closed. Keep in mind this thing, that you always need to destroy all windows in order to close the image. Here it's important to remember that this function waitKey returns a Unicode integer representation of the character that's being pressed. Okay, so let us display, for example, an image for 5 seconds. Here, the time is measured in milliseconds. So if I want to represent my image, or I want to display my image for 5 seconds, I will place here 5,000 milliseconds. So let's do that. And let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, works perfectly. So let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, and I press number, or actually the character H. So what happens? Even if you specify the time duration, if somewhere in the time interval, let's say in the 3rd second, you press the number or a key in your keyboard, the image will be closed. Okay, this is also important to remember. Now, let us modify this code, or let us write a new code that will close the window when a specific key is being pressed. In this case, I want to close the window if, for example, the character or the key C is being pressed. And if I press any other key or character, my window should be open. So how to do that? First, I will define this variable finish. Then I will specify the window name for displaying the image, and then I will write a simple while loop that will loop over this finish. So if something happens, I have to set this finish to true, and this while loop will exit. So in the while loop, first I show the image. Window name is just an arbitrary name of the window, and image is the image that we want to show. Then I read the key. So if the key is equal to C, then I will close my window. That is, I will set the finish variable to true, and then I will close the window. Now, this function ORD returns a Unicode equivalent of a string of length 1 or of the character. In this case, this function ORD will return a Unicode integer representing C. So let's see how this thing happens, or actually what happens over here. So let's say I will press O. Nothing happens. B. Number 4. Backspace. Nothing happens. So if I press the key C, my window will be closed. And let us see the value of key. The value of key is 99, and that's the Unicode integer representing the character C. Okay, so let's see how to resize images. Now, I will read a large-scale image. That is, I will read the image called parts.test that I downloaded and saved from my website, and let's see this image. Okay, it's quite a big image. It even doesn't fit my whole screen, so I need to resize it. So let's see how to resize it. Let's close this window. And let's see. So first I define my scale in percentages. So let's say I want to scale my dimensions for 0.2. That is, I want to decrease X and Y dimensions for 20%. So I define a new width, a new height, and a new dimension. So let's see how this thing looks. Let's see what is a new dimension. If I do copy and paste from here, I will see, so my new image should be 230 by 307. So let's see how to do that. So how to resize the image? I will call the function cv2.resize. I will specify the image name, new dimensions, and interpolations. In this case, I will use cv2 inter-area interpolation. So this is a flag for certain interpolation. I don't want to go more into details. You can always open OpenCV tutorials and you can read more about this flag. Basically what happens, since you're decreasing the image size, you need to basically average the pixel value. So because instead of having 5 by 5 regions, you will have a region, let's say, of 2 by 2, and you need to find the values of pixels in this newly formed region. So usually you do some averaging or some interpolation depending on the algorithm that you choose over here. So let's see what happens. So here is my resized image. It's quite smaller, and yes, so it's so I can still distinguish here parts, so it's still fine. Okay, so let's save the image. So how to save the image? I will use the function cv2.imagewrite. I specify the file name, I specify the resized image, the original image name, and then I here specify the compression. So in this case, if you specify 0, you will not have any compression, so the image quality will stay the same. However, the image might be large. So if you want to reduce the image size, you need to specify the compression level, and the maximum value is number 9. So if you want to have a smaller file size and if you want to reduce the image quality, then you can use 9. So there is a trade-off between the file size and the image quality. So let's do that. Let's save the images. And here they are. Open the folder. So let's see what happens. Over here, tutorial. Okay, so we should see and we should verify that these images are being saved, and in our case they are not being saved. Why? Because this window is still open, so I need to close this window, and I get as a output value true, which means that my images are being saved. So these are the saved images. Okay, that would be all for today. I hope that you like this video. If you like the videos I make, please subscribe to my channel or support my channel. Thank you very much and have a nice day.